Alrighty, we are live. Welcome in. Much love, Trav here. May he rest in peace. Hopefully he's not getting burned up in Hawaii. That's pretty crazy going on in Hawaii. The big island, at least. The southern portion is burning to the ground from the lava slides. I think Trav's on near Honolulu, right? I don't know. Haven't kept up with him in a while. Choking on water here. Alrighty. So we're just going to play some Rhonas' Monument. Just thought instead of wasting time playing Arena on my lonesome, I might as well involve you scrubs and have a party here. See if we can lose some coins. Actually, this deck does phenomenally well. I am, what do you call it here? I am currently, welcome to Dominaria. I am Master Tier 1, whatever the hell that means. I believe this is the highest tier you can get. I got it by playing Okedra's Monument and Rhonas' Monument. Not a lot of time spent into it, usually just doing my dailies, doing a league a day, and I've done a few drafts here and there. I do enjoy this over MTGO. Let me say that again. I actually enjoy playing Arena a lot more than MTGO just because of the quick games. I think I'm more of a impulsive, quick player, and this sort of format definitely suits my playstyle a lot more. In fact, I tried to play MTGO the other day, and man, was it sluggish, and I was sitting there, come on, play, let's go, type thing. So I know that it's not, as far as the Magic purists are concerned, this way of playing Magic is not true Magic, the way that it tries to incentivize fast play. So there is some legit criticisms there for Arena. But I kind of like the restrictions for Arena. I like the restrictions of not being able to play with every card. But now I basically have most of the cards that I want to play with. In fact, I think my MTG Arena collection is larger than my MTGO standard collection. Then again, if you ever want specific cards, it's quite easy to get cards on MTGO. And not if you manage your collection and not actually even spend money. I haven't spent money on MTGO for over 2 years now, mainly because I do speculation, and a lot of my specs do pay off on MTGO. My latest one is kicking me in the balls, though. But that's a story for another day. However, some of my specs of the past have really helped fund the MTGO. MTG Arena is more of a time grind. But I enjoy it. Play some games when the store is slow. And that's that. So anyway, I'll try to read your comments because this is going to be more of an interactive stream. We've all seen the Okedra's Monument deck. But I've made some changes to it. I had Karn in for a little bit. I took Karn out for the Green Ponder. I think the Green Ponder is amazing. We'll just go over the deck tech here, and I'll get to your questions as well. So, Retro Nerd, thanks for being my fave MTG channel for the past few years. I appreciate it, Retro. I'm someone's favorite. Aww. Okay, really wanted Arena to get modern. I'd enjoy it so much more. Yeah, sure. More formats the merrier. But I don't know exactly how they're going to be able to juggle Arena and MTGO. That's why I'm selling out of MTGO. Slowly selling out. I do keep Pauper decks. In fact, I almost have every Pauper card on MTGO right now because one of these days we'll do a stream for Pauper. I've been playing a lot of decks on Pauper because I am going to be competing in the Pauper Championship in Vegas. So if you are going to be playing in the Vegas Pauper Championship, definitely come say hi. We're going to try to win it. I don't know what deck I'll be playing right now. I'm leaning towards Boros. Yeah, I know. It's a tier 1 net deck, but my version of Boros is a little bit different than most people. I'm playing the new Get You Chronicler in there because I think it pairs very well with Reap. Reap, what's the Storm that brings back creature cards? That's a very, very key card versus the Skred matchup, as well as Black-Blue Control. It's the Chroniclers and be able to just rinse and repeat, help play the grindy match. So other than that, Kathatha has really, really, really good matchups versus Inside Out. In fact, I think it's the best deck versus Inside Out. And if you ever played a lot of Pauper, that is a very annoying deck to try to deal with. Kathatha it just folds too. So anyway, I'd love to see Pauper on Arena, but again, Arena's its own little format. I'm not too picky as far as like having this be a hyper competitive type format, and maybe that's why they do need to try to keep MTGO and Arena, but I have a hard time thinking that they're going to be able to do so. In fact, it doesn't make sense in a money aspect to them to try to juggle two different clients, in my opinion. But that's not saying I'm condoning one or the other. I'm just trying to look at it as a company's standpoint. All right, so I was wondering when you'd showcase your Rhonas deck after the updates. Okay, there isn't a lot of updates. We'll get to it instead of being a chatty Cathy here. Again, I've had Karn in the deck. There's not a lot of upgrades here. I'm way lower on the Mana Dorks. The latest additions, this is Adventurous Impulse. So if you click on the link in the description in the video, the deck list is actually a little bit different now. I'm too lazy to update it. But Adventurous Impulse, otherwise known as the Green Ponder, is really, really good in this deck because it only miss on Rhonas' Monument. It will hit everything else. And so it's very, very important to dig for your Vizier the Menandry. It's the most important card in the deck, hands down. And Adventurous Impulse allows you to do so. So you can dig. The one problem that Adventurous Impulse does have is if it gets stuck on the top of your library at the Vizier of Menandry, it's another card you can't cast. But Karn was in this position before, and a few other beaters like an extra copy of Galta or like another Deathgord Scavenger / Drover the Mighty was here. And I just prefer the Adventurous Impulse. It also allows us to be really greedy on our mana base of running just 18 lands. As we still have a turn, we can keep one landers with an Adventurous Impulse, no problem. So we can keep 2 1-land hands, one's with Land War Elves and the other one's with Adventurous Impulse, and still feel pretty comfortable of drawing out. So that's the biggest change, still running the 4 Land War Elves and the 2 Drover of the Mighties. And then the rest of this is Dora the Explorer. So you're going to run every Explorer card known to man, at least the reasonable ones. So Ixali's Diviner, this card is very good versus Knights, and it's also very good versus Ramanup, which are you'll see them at least in a league. Usually see at least one Knights deck, and some leagues you'll run the entire table of Ramanups. So Diviner is really good for that. It's actually not terrible versus other decks because at least it gets value. Like the control decks, it's digging. So it doesn't, even though it's a 0/3, it doesn't feel like a dead card because it's digging for your combo. And other green decks, it's also pretty good too because it comes out as a 1/4. It can block a lot of early threats at that point, like opposing Thrashing Brontodons. It can block and survive. It's a really good card in a lot of matchups. So I've kept this card, and I don't really see a lot of other people playing this card. A lot of people think it's kind of too weak for the format, but I disagree. I think it's a very, very powerful card right now in the Arena format. Then, of course, the Merfolk Branchwalker, one of the best cards in Arena at the moment. As a 3/2 beater, it can put the control decks. It can definitely pressure them. If not, it's another Explore card. If it gets a 3/2, it also can block the 5/4 for a turn. My favorite matchup to play is other mono green decks because we'll go over the top of them. The board state will get clogged up. Love playing against Dinosaurs, Vampires, Ramanup, Knights, because they start off as the aggro and then we finish off as the aggro deck. A lot of times I can just one turn, one chop our opponents. We do very well against like board wipes like Settle the Wreckage or Bantu's Last Reckoning, as we can refill our board state very, very quickly. Anyway, so Wildgrowth Walker is one of the reasons to be playing the Dora the Explorer. This is a metagame call because there is no sideboards. I don't know if you were to play this like in an actual tournament, you'd want these in the main. They'd be more of a sideboard card because they are the answer to Ramanup. So a lot of times this either eats a Lightning Strike or starts getting you life, and either way they've wasted their turn 2. And a lot of times Ramanup can't catch up if they've gone, like turn 1 they play like a Soulscar Mage or a Fanatical Firebrand, and then turn 2 they have to Lightning Strike a Wildgrowth Walker. That's still a win on our side because that's a turn 2 that they're not getting in for damage. When it should have been like an Earthshaker Kenra. If they allow the Wildgrowth Walker to survive a turn, then usually you'll have an Explore card. We are going to run one Rhonas the Indomitable because this helps with board states. It's one of the weaker cards, honestly, in the deck, but there are some situations where this card actually just takes over the game. The 2 for Thrashing Brondons are fine. It's another thing you can get off the Llanowar Elves. And then, of course, the namesake of the deck is the Rhonas' Monument and Vizier the Menagerie. These are the 2 cards you want to have. This gives Trample and +2/+2 to your creatures for every time you cast a green spell, or just a creature spell, and also reduces the cost of your green creature spells by 1. And the Vizier the Menagerie helps you cast cards off the top of your library. So this is your draw outlet. Can it still do the 1 Samut Voice of Dissent? It is a card that can come out of nowhere and just win the game, especially when it gets +2/+2 and trample. So a lot of times what I'll do is flash this in and actually kill an attacker. And then on my opponent's turn, cast a few creatures, give it +4/+4, for example, and swing it for 14. Or, can actually at that point get through. If you have the Samut and then a card like Rhonas, you cast Rhonas, it also gets haste. So it gives all your creatures then haste, and you can just really go through your deck. Can give Galta haste, so a lot of times it will have this little combo. And just the 1 of Galta. I used to have more Galtas. I've kind of gone down to 1, because we are just trying to stabilize this deck and then go over the top of our opponents. Still just running the 18 lands, 1 Rootbone Crag, 13 Forest, 4 Hash Up Oases. I guess I could go up the count of Rootbound Crags. I actually don't like a land that comes into play tap, though. This is the turn 1 you want Adventurous Impulse or the Llanowar Elves, so I think even going up in the count of Rootbound Crags might be a mistake. What this deck would want is like a Copperline Gorge. Unfortunately, we don't have that type of card in Standard at the moment. I've thought about going over to a green-blue Rhonas' Monument route. I've tried God-Pharaoh's Gift in a deck like this as I'm exploring, and I actually had a deck for a while with the the Champion, and it worked out okay. It just seemed inferior to this particular deck. Like I said, I've won a plethora of these 7 wins. Quick constructed, I guess is what they call them. And so in fact, I actually prefer this over Oketra's Monument. Oketra's Monument is how I got to Masters or close to Masters, whatever the tier between Gold and Masters is. I finally figured out why I kept resetting me. They just don't have a different icon for Gold to whatever's in between Gold and then for Masters. So anyway, Karn's actually really good in this deck too. I just don't prefer it with running the Adventurous Impulse. So you have to choose between like a 2 of Karn or 4 Adventurous Impulse, in my opinion. So Karn's good though in certain matchups. Alrighty. Let's submit some questions. We'll get going. What happens in Arena when cards rotate out? Do you get some pseudo-lame modern? Yes, Gary. I think that's what they're planning on doing. That's, in fact, some people are thinking a new format's going to be invented from Arena forward. Unfortunately, I think that's going to have Kaladesh in it because they say they're going to keep going backwards. So I think it's going to be very similar to how MTGO did it. MTGO started around, Apocalypse, I think it was when MTGO came out, or maybe it was a little bit after. But then they started retroactively creating sets, not too far off from that went back to like the Urza's blocks and all the like Mirage. I'm trying to think of all the sets that haven't been released. I think like Ice Age, before Ice Age, some of those haven't been released on MTGO. They've just been in master sets. But yeah, there's going to be some pseudo format, but it'll be fun. See, I don't know. Like a lot of people get stuck on this whole spike mentality of like these official formats and official. Arena can be a place to just play Magic with limitations. I'm perfectly okay with that. As long as they have a venue for you to play online for a specific format, which right now is MTGO, you can go there and play that particular thing. But having these kind of pseudo formats, I think is fun. I'm a brewer. This is home to me. This is where I thrive. Is with limitations, with being able to there's not a lot of Arena meta out there. You can find some articles, but no one really has the data. So this is all trial and error. This is all my, firsthand experience. And for me, again, this is where I thrive. These are the environments that I thrive. So I prefer it rather than having a cookie cutter how-to, tried and true by a ton of different pros that can give a walkthrough on how to play modern, standard, legacy, whatever, type format. So anyway, that's why I like Arena so far. And we'll get going here. Is it a good time to buy the new Fastlands? Fastlands as far as Ross, what are you talking about? Which Fastlands? The Kaladesh Fastlands? I think it's a terrible time to buy the Kaladesh Fastlands. I think when they rotate out, they are going to drop like crazy. So that'll be the time to get out of them. Blooming Marsh should have a increase in price just because of those Challenger decks. There's actually another second release of Challenger decks. In fact, we can get 6 cases of Challenger decks, and Zach and I are buying a case is all. So we have 5 cases that we are allotted that we're not even going to buy. So if you do need a Challenger decks, let me know. We'll try to cut out a deal where we make a buck and you get a cheap Challenger deck. So just email Zach, goneroguegamezach@gmail.com, and he can probably work something out. If we can get enough people that want specific decks to actually get a case is 2 of each deck. But it's just one of those things that, yeah, we could probably piece them out and make a profit. It's just that there's a lot of time involved with that. It's summertime. There's a lot of things going on. I don't want to be piecing out Challenger decks to try to make a buck here and there. So anyway, we'll shield out some other time. Anyway, let's get going on this. And we will see if I can mess up on stream because I am the worst streamer and player at the same time. All right, so what were we doing here? Quick constructed. Let's choose a deck. So I'm going to choose the Rhonas Monument Stomp deck. Submit this, and we'll go ahead and play. I have to sell my friends a significant collection up on Starcity, Minnesota to help out with some debt. Should I hit the small vendors or SCG first? No. John, what you want to do is you want to go pick up a buy list. Everyone should have like a bunch of buy list papers running around. And then I take a marker and start highlighting. So you know what you have and start highlighting the best buy list prices. And then set those cards aside and then come up with that sheet right there and say, these are the cards I have for sale. These are the price you pay. It saves you a lot of times. It saves the haggle between you and the vendor. And then you'll get the best deal. And it's better than just this. What ends up happening is a lot of vendors will have these really good deals on some cards, so then they can get you for the rest of your cards for cheap. So you definitely want to know the prices of cards, the overall price of what vendors are going to be paying. A lot of times at GPs, there's a buying spree between vendors, so the margins are very slim. In fact, I've been able to go to one vendor, buy a card, go to another vendor and sell that exact card. What the hell is going on with Arena today? I already got dropped on my very first. At least it didn't give me a loss. Sometimes it gives me a loss right here. But anyway, what I'm trying to say with how it works with the vendor shuffle is you just need to find the one with the right price for your package, and don't let them talk you into selling something you know is worth more. So here's a reason why I don't like the Rootbound Crag. In fact, I think I shipped this back. It would be an okay hand if I go first turn and I go first as well, so I don't even get a draw. I mean, this hand's not terrible. In fact, it's got what we need. I'm going to keep it, and hopefully this Rootbound Crag does not end up biting me. So we do need to draw into a land, or otherwise we're going to be in a world of hurt. I think against control at that point, we're going to be a counterspell behind. That means that what I'm saying, by the time we start casting everything, our opponent's going to have a counterspell. If I do hit a land here, I'm fine, because I can go turn 2 Drover. Battle Bond, Liam. Battle Bond is amazing, absolutely. So this is the problem here. So at least we're playing against a green deck, though. So we do have time to set up, but we didn't hit our land drop, and now we're kind of behind. And if we get Lightning Striked on this land of Werewolf, we're just screwed. Okay, so it's Dinosaurs. So this is actually okay, other than we still are, like I said, in a world of hurt. The Rootbound Crag set us way behind. It almost is like a mulligan because we forfeited our go first and kind of let our opponent go first with that tap land, and then we missed the land drop. So I'm actually really, really good shape if I can hit this Rhonas' Monument. And now we're not. We're in terrible shape here with the Raptor Hatchling. So yeah, that was the problem. That's why I don't like playing the Rootbound Crags as often, or like a lot of people think I should be playing more. Now again, we missed the land drop. This is the problem with keeping the one landers. It's a risk. A lot of times they pay off, but we're gonna get punished for the greedy keep here. Yeah, Ross, there was some coin flip, some pretty good coin flip cards. So how come when you play against dinosaurs, they always have a Forerunner, like every time? It's the only way this deck actually functions is a Forerunner, and then you're going up against a deck that does not play removal, like such a deck as mine. I typically think that this is the worst deck in the format to be playing, in all honesty. Yeah, we're way too far behind. We missed another land drop. I'll play it out, but it's pretty much over here. Because now we lose our Llanowar Elves, and now we're really at the mercy of... And my opponent's just going to start breeding out dinosaurs as well. The Savage Stomp on the Raptor Hatchling. Yeah, my opponent's living the dream with this deck. Living the dream. That is kind of the theory behind dinosaurs. Like I said, it's a pretty terrible deck. However, when it does run hot, it really runs hot. And I can't come back from this. You never know. Like, if you had a land here... I get to Diviner here. These get a +1/+1 counter. And didn't even hit a land here. All right. Womp womp. We'll go on to the next one. Now watch me go 0-3 and out after I've been talking up this like crazy. All right. Brian says, what do you think about the widespread UI do-nothing decks on Arena? Bad for casual? Yeah, they're slow. They're annoying to be playing against. The Teferi is really obnoxious to play against as well. This deck does very well against it, though. So here we go. Here's a great hand. Unfortunately, we're going second here. And speak of the devil, we're going to get it. Opponent's just going to flip out an opt. So this could be the blue-white control. This could also be like a Scarab God. They're both very prevalent in the format. But this is exactly how our hand wants to be. Like, we're actually not the greatest hand because we don't have a Rhonas' Monument or a Vizier. So I could just be like... The problem with a deck like this is then I could... Okay, this is Wizards. Wizards Prowess. And we usually do a very good job against this. The one problem about Wizards is they do have evasive cards. I could go Drover and Adventurer's Impulse, but I think Jade Light's just a little bit superior. This can go to the graveyard. And I want it, but I don't know if I actually... Yeah, I do want it. Okay, so we have Rhonas' Monument here. So anyway, yeah, those blue-white do-nothing decks are annoying, but they're not unbeatable. Well then. They have the Wizard's Lightning for the Spellweaver Eternal. Okay, so here, I'm going to be risky here. We're going to Adventurous Impulse, and if this doesn't pay off... Okay, good. Oh, that was perfect, so it gets rid of them. We're in bad shape. So here we go. I think that we can actually outmaneuver our opponent. Our opponent does have a good hand started. They missed a land drop. We're down to 17 already. The deck does have, like I said, some evasive cards and the ability to really go crazy. However, Riddle Form's not going to be where our opponent wants to be. Only going to be taking 4 here, and we can start going on the aggro. Pfft, of course, it gives us another Rhonas' Monument. What a dirty, 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 filthy pirate hooker. You never do want to draw the second one. We want Jade Light Ranger and Drover here, and then attack in. I don't know if I care about putting the Deathgorger Scavenger out. I think I'd rather get in for some damage with the Llanowar Elf, and you'll see how this deck can just go crazy. So we're going to go Jade Light. I guess I can still hit a land off Jade Light. But I still think I want Drover so I can get some Moot out. Because I don't think I'm in any... Ooh. Do I need to gain any more life off of the Wild Growth Walker? Off of like another Explorer card? I want to hit lands. So I want to hit another land, so I'm going to put it in the graveyard. So... did I... Wait a second. What did I cast with the other green there? Oh, I've got one open. We're going to go Drover here. Because I tapped wrong. No, I tapped it to try to, and then it... Oh, no. I was an idiot and tried it to reduce its cost by colorless instead of green. So we'll actually go Deathgorger Scavenger here. Over Drover? No. I still think it's Drover. I honestly think it's Drover. Because then we can get this Samut out and just go crazy. And this gets in for some damage as well. No! I don't want to do that. I want to attack in. I guess we could go Deathgorger Scavenger right now. No. We need it. I'd rather get the 5 damage. Alright, so my opponent's down to 15. That's a good play for us. They do have some... Like, the worst case scenario is they kill this Drover of the Mighty. They've already used a Wizard's Lightning, though. Oh, my... Yep. So my opponent's going to go for the Jade Light Ranger, which is awesome. And... attacking with everything. Damn it. That hurts. The Abrade does hurt. Okay. I don't know if I can win this now. Any card in hand is a problem. So the good news is we can go Rhonas' Monument and Deathgord Scavenger and have lethal for the following turn if I draw a creature. So we can go another Rhonas' Monument. I can't counter it. Go down to 5. There's 3, 4. We're probably dead, unfortunately. But my opponent's dead if I'm not dead next turn. If this Drover can stay alive. Flame of Keld? Oh, no. Okay, so my opponent has to wait a turn to draw. So I have to discard the card here. Perfect. We're fine. Because I have to just block here and go 3, 4, 5, 6. So my opponent dies on the backswing. Right? 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Sweet. GG. So, oh yeah, we need that Ixalan as Diviner. I'm glad I didn't speak too soon here. There's GG. Okay. Whew. That one barely slipped it off. But now you can see how Rhonas' money worked there. My opponent had a very phenomenal hand. I think, of course, with missing that land drop on turn 3 was the difference between winning and losing that game. However, my opponent can't say that they got unlucky as well because we drew 3 Rhonas' monuments, which were just dead cards at that point. Well, I guess one of them wasn't. There's our 1 win. But you can kind of see how explosive the deck can be. How your opponents a lot of times think they're the aggro deck and you're actually the aggro deck. And it's kind of a damned if you damned if you don't scenario. They have to try to pressure you because if they give you time, you'll just win. Alrighty. So yeah, usually the matchups we lose, you're going to lose against Ramming Up God Draw. So what I mean by that is a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop, like especially Glorybringer or Hazaret. Those type of matchups are basically unwinnable. It's one of the problems with the Arena at the moment is like Ramming Up not banned and the one-match games. Like one of the things that made Ramming Up beatable was the sideboard you actually had. Like one of the reasons why they banned Ramming Up and Rampage of Ferocidon is the win percentage was so crazy for Ramming Up on game 1. It was like 66%. And then it went down to it still went down to above 50% though on game 2, and so they found it too problematic for standard and banned Ramming Up. So, opponent is being a very bad player by Magma Spring, the useless card. So thank you very much for that. And there is the Goblin Trailblazer. All right, so we're in great shape here. We are going to throw out probably just the Jadelight Ranger. No, we'll do the Thrashing Brontodon because the Jadelight Ranger can actually work off of the Vizier, the Menandry. So anyway, Arena's suffering kind of the same problem that this is a one-match game. So Ramming Up just has that huge advantage. And it's actually forced a lot of decks to have main board hate against Ramming Up, hence the Wild Growth Walkers and the Deathgord Scavengers, which would probably be more sideboard cards in a deck like this. All right, so I've got some... My opponent just missed their land drop. It's over. Yeah, we've won this game. It's going to take a lot for my opponent to come back from this. I still don't think we'll be the aggressor. Do I have to worry about a Magma... No, because I could kill the Vizier, but I've got another one. And at that point, we'll trade 2 for 1. Yeah, Approach is a little... Approach has actually lost a lot of its luster, though, because a lot of the UI Control players have figured out that Control does not even need Approach, that Teferi is a win condition all in itself. So I'm probably going to lose my Vizier the Menagerie here to a Lightning Strike or a Magma Sprint. I think I'm okay with this. Again, it's using my opponent's turn. It's a 2 for 1. We are in great shape with another Vizier with Menagerie here. I'd actually... on a braid. Yeah, that's fine. And so here, I've got a couple of options. I think the option I want to do here is just to really seal the deal and Deathgorger Scavenger away. It's not an Earthshaker Kenru we're getting, but a Trailblazer gaining 2 life. Your opponent doesn't want to be on turn 4 or turn 5 down to 18 life with a behind board state. So my opponent got kind of unlucky. We'll take the Jadelight Ranger at this point over the land. Yeah. And I'm gonna start being aggressive. Because you don't want Ramnup to have time to rebuild back up, find like a land here, go on Crop Crasher. I can't block anyway. I wasted an attack in. This game is still beta, Kabu Kid. Kabukai Kid. Kabukai. I'm not even drunk yet. Alright, so I'm taking 5 here, but the problem with my opponent did not, so of course I'm not going to make the trade here because the Deathgorger Scavenger is good on the back end of things. I think we want to try to hit something off of... Yep, that's definitely something we want. Go back up to 14. Now, opponent does have the gas and the cards. So actually, we're not in the craziest position here. But this is kind of a weird attack. My opponent's going to have to 2-for-1 themselves again. So, oh no, because I can just block here. But I'm going to make this block. We recover a lot better. Like, I could pressure my opponent here with a 4-3. But Ramnup can definitely just win out of nowhere a lot of times. So I don't want to give my opponent... This is my game to lose. I've got the board state. But this is really, really, really potent hand. Or potent card here. Especially when the Braid already used. And we can go Branch Walker on the Deathgorger Scavenger. Definitely want that on the library. And we'll go ahead and attack with the Deathgorger Scavenger. And we are going to exile the on-crop Crasher. Now, my opponent can make the block here, which is perfectly fine. Again, they lose 2-for-1. And we're back up to a 14. So we're great. Close bait. Oh, they're going to go to 8. And this is just a death. My opponent had to block there. I don't think they can do 14 damage in one turn with 3 mana. Even with 4 mana, what's the best case scenario? Like double Earthshaker Kenra. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm down to a 4. And then they lose on the backswing. So my opponent has to like try to play a little bit defensive here. Leave back blockers, which is not going to be a thing. If they swing in with everything, they're just dead. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're just dead anyway here. So we can go... Jadelight, yep, okay. Jadelight will give our other guy trample. And then we'd also have another Jadelight to give the other one trample. And I think it wouldn't be quite lethal, but it's very, very close. So. What's going on? Not a Rooster and Chad. Longtime subscribers and loyal patrons. Thank you for joining. We are, by the way, Chad and Rooster, we're holding off the Zack the Crack Pack opening for Battle Bond. That will come out the 30th. So we didn't want to waste your pack this time on another Dominaria. Even though the Dominaria is still fresh, we thought Battle Bond would be a great one to open. Loving the Battle Bond spoilers. I saw Battle Bond for about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I went and mowed the lawn and came to the store, so I haven't actually looked at spoilers since then. All right, a white deck. We will go ahead and Adventurous Impulse. We actually have the Vizier of the Menagerie already, so let's take the Wildgrowth Walker. Yeah, Wildgrowth Walker is probably the right card here rather than a land. Yeah, because we'll probably find another land off like a Merfolk Branch Walker. Okay, I'm fine with that. Yeah, and again, a lot of there are some low supply, some misleading prices. The only reason that they're worth money is because of the extremely low supply. However, there are some high supply, high value cards, such as Doubling Season, that are very, very staple for Commander. So, all right, so we have a choice here. We have Drover that can actually, I think I don't know what I'm going against. The Glorybat Initiate could be a lot of different cards. This could be the cartouche deck, like the enchantment deck. So I think Wild Growth Walker is the better card just to chuck out. I don't think this is... Okay, that cast out could be still any deck. I don't know what we're up against, so... No blockers here. Alright, so we do not want to attack into a seal away. And I am going to throw out this Rhonas' Monument. And again, I don't want to attack into a seal away. Yeah, exactly. Like Rooster, I've got most of those cards. Like a lot of my commander decks are pretty pimped out, and a lot of people like they must think I get mad at reprints. I absolutely do not get mad at reprints. Sometimes I get mad is like when Zendikar Resurgence gets reprinted that quickly in Commander 2017 when I buy a bunch of copies out of Battle for Zendikar when it's rotating. However, if you looked at the price of Zendikar Resurgence, it's back up to $1.50. So my little 10-cent spec or 25-cent spec has already paid off again. I was pissed off when it got reprinted that quickly, but yeah, it's good to go. All right, so Sailor Mean, I think we're just playing against kind of like a just a not very tuned deck. So we're just going to blow through this here. So usually when you have the ability to put out the Vizier Menagerie, you go for it. Other than I do have the Wild Growth Walker that can get in for a lot of damage this turn by the Jade Light and the Merfolk Branch Walker. But usually you put the Vizier out as soon as possible. And this is going to be a very, very tough card for my opponent to deal with, especially when they already wasted a cast out. And for whatever reason, every Arena player always casts out the Wild Growth Walker, not the Vizier, when they have the option. Because usually at this point, the Wild Growth Walker could be like a 7-9 or whatever the power toughness is, and they think it's a threat. Vizier Menagerie is always the threat. Always the threat. So I'm going to go Drover here because we want to draw the Galta. And more mana the merrier at this point. So, okay, another tip here. Big tip with this deck. Do not use the Explore cards. When you have the Vizier combo out, you don't want to use the Explore cards unless you have a land on top. Otherwise, you want to cast other cards in your hand or cast the cards off the top of your library. Now, we couldn't quite cast Galta, but still pretty good. Still pretty good of a play. KFC Dave, huh? He does chicken right. All right, Dave. No stalling, dude. You're tapped out. I guess you're technically not tapped out. You get a treasure token. The PC specs for Arena are... Zach's computer is kind of is sluggish with it. They must have fixed the data dump that was happening. Or maybe it was the OBS that was the big problem, the looping between OBS and MTG Arena. I haven't had the big lag like I did on one of those streams. I think they must have fixed it pretty quickly after that. So, in fact, I was on MTGO, and MTGO is lagging like a bitch lately. It is horrid. It is... I can't even... Maybe it's just from going from the smooth setting of Arena... Wow, this guy thinks he's the aggro deck again. I guess he's going to try to gain some life, but we should have it here. I don't... Okay, so here's also a great moment to cast a Merfolk Branch Walker. So we're going to go ahead and just put this other Vizier in the bin, and we can just throw it on our Vizier here. Makes it a 5. That means it can get through, so this goes in the graveyard. Pfft, there's another one. I think I want Galta out this turn, though. I can do both. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a Jade Light. Because I don't want the other Vizier. That's fine to keep on the library. So, yeah, actually might need to gain some life, some more. I don't know. It's a 1-drop at that point. I'm perfectly fine with that. So we're just going to go ahead and pay a life, throw out the Galta. And like I said, we are the aggro deck. Yeah, Brian, it's a great card. Vizier's a very underrated card. I don't necessarily like it without Rhonas' Monument. I think that the combo is what makes the power of this card, or the where was I going with this thought? Okay, Vizier, I think, needs the reduction of the creatures from Rhonas' Monument. That's what makes it very powerful. Well then, that was a card I did not see coming, and now I'm very far behind. So, Wild Growth Walker. Yeah, we can cast both of them. And that really sucks for me because, yeah, wow. Because we took all our Viziers in the bin, and so it's going to be hard for me to draw out of this. Yeah, again, I didn't see the card coming. I know if it would have happened, then... Or there's no way for me to get it back either. With this, what we really need is an Eternal Witness in this format. We can try to dig for the fourth one for sure. Well, it's a decent little card. We can throw the Oasis to get in for some damage here. I'd be surprised if my opponent just takes it. I think my opponent needs to block here. Well, we'll do a review on the KMC Hyper mats when they come out with the new one. There was a terrible batch of them. They were awful. I'm not a big fan of Dragon Shield either. I think that if you need to be perfect fitting your cards. Dragon Shield like leaves back, dust gets trapped in them, and then it really, especially foils, it will start to damage them. Regular cards as well will leave back like residue. Not a fan of them. I am the biggest fan of just the garbage Ultra Pros, just because I think they do the overall best protection of your cards. They don't really leave any residue. They don't trap dust in them. They're cheap. Wow, playing Dusk with Angel of Sanctions, huh? Gotta love the non-bows. Actually, we're pretty far behind. I actually think we're going to lose this match. Like, I did not see a board wipe. Did not foresee a board wipe whatsoever. Womp womp. We are getting the Flood. So usually if there is a board wipe, you of course keep the Viziers. You don't, try to go all out. What is our opponent even doing with this deck? Like I said, I don't think it's a very tuned. It's just running a lot of random. It's got to be some sort of eternalized list. But my opponent at 3 is in a lot of... They can get back the Glory... Nope, can't even get back the Glorybound Initiate. There's can get back the Vizier. And can get back Sailor of Means as well with the Dust on. A lot of Nombos in here, though. Ay, ay, ay. So I guess I could have waited for a turn to try to go all out here. Yeah, just not a very tuned deck. Angel of Sanction is going to be a pain. Alright, I still think... I mean, we could wait a turn. I think we do. I think we try to, wait and try to get a big Trampler. Don't have a lot of bombs left in our deck either. Okay, I guess we don't wait. Yeah, might as well block here. Does gain our opponent back life, which is annoying. And I'm wishing I would have used the Merfolk Branchwalker, because it would have got that forest out of the way. Okay, there we go. We are back in business. Now let's just hope there's not a random counterspell. There is not... Vizier can copy an Angel of Sanctions is the issue. That's the big issue with this. So we need to... That was a terrible play of the binding on just a Merfolk branch, or on a... Okay, I think we make this trade. My opponent can get it back, sure, but we still make it. Now, do I wait a turn because our opponent's going to copy the Angel of Sanctions is the problem. And I want to get as much value out of this, so I think we can wait a turn. If that makes sense. What we really want to do is find the other Rhonas' Monument. I know there's 2 Adventurous Impulse on the bottom as well. So yeah, I need to get that out of the Vizier. Needs to get out of the binding, huh? I can also draw into a Thrashing Brontodon. There's one more in the deck. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I don't understand that play, but we'll allow it. And keeping back an Angel of Saint. Hey, speak of the devil, there's the Thrashing Brontodon to get back the Ixalan's Binding. Yep, that's probably the play. Or Ixalan's Bind. Yeah, I think that's still the play. So what is this? Kill, get back Rhonas' Monument, cast a Vizier. Hopefully there's not another Vizier or Angel Sanctions in my opponent's hand. Welp, we're in great shape if there's not another Angel Sanction or Vizier. And Opt is great because not another blue source and not enough mana. Yeah, not worried about that. My opponent is living on the edge. I do not know how we won this. There's still like seal away. But I think we go for it. Ugh, what is this nonsense? Do I even dare go up against a seal away? Ay. Like I have to wait another turn for my opponent to possibly tap deck another Angel of Sanction. I attack in here, I can run into a seal away. Or, no, my opponent just double blocks. Just blocks with everything. No, because I can go another land or elf. I think we give our opponent another turn. Let's just hope there's not another... Okay, no one cares about a Karn. Our opponent can have the island. I don't want to give an island, really. I don't want to give a Supreme Will either. But my opponent is desperately in the need of lands. I'm going to give a Supreme Will. Already a ton of cards in hand. They need the lands. That is annoying because of the 4 lifelink. Down to a 15 to 11. But again, Vizier can go nuts here. The garbage play for the Ixalan's Binding on the Wild Growth blocker actually pays off. Are you joking? Ugh. How many of these Wild Growth walkers? So there's what? There's one left in the deck after this? So I have a lot of relevant cards here. Ay. And now the Supreme Will can actually try to go grab something? So now I do give a land instead of Real Caracal. What the hell is this deck? At least just this opponent is putting what cards they have and trying to throw a deck. And it's actually working is the thing. So it's like someone's draft or sealed constructed deck on crack. Like, but this card, this Dawn to Dusk. Dusk to Dawn. Okay. Can we go off here? I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to try to play with Seal Away here. I guess I can try to get this Llanowar Elves up as large as to play around the Seal Away. I'm gonna have to sack with both of them. Ugh. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. So, Samut can come in. Oh, well. Okay, so we have 14 damage going through. My opponent's got blockers on a 1-1. So they have 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we attack with everything. That's not quite enough. Opponent does have to make the blocks here and can't double up on the Vizier of Nandri enough to kill it. So all attackers. Hopefully there's not a seal away. Well then. That can go to the graveyard now, because I can't cast it. So that ended up being, I should not attack with the Vizier. Why did I miscalculate the... Still, though, still in great shape. Have a lot of power on board. Yeah, that was a mistake to attack in the Vizier. Womp womp. No oases yet either. We found one in the graveyard. Yeah, we used it. Okay. Watch there be a Settle the Wreckage. Of course, it's a land here too. So we have our opponent can block, block, block. So block there, or block there. Block there. Doesn't really seem to really attack in anything except for the Jadelight Ranger. Because we can't do lethal and we just lose too much. And knowing my opponent, they've got to Settle the Wreckage. I think I lost the game by attacking with the Vizier. I think it was a mistake to attack with the Vizier. For some reason, I think they couldn't block enough with the Llanowar Elves. So I had 14 and my opponent's at 12, and then they took the 9, gained the 1. Yeah, unfortunately, the only thing I do is attack with a J-Light, and there's no way for me to get it back at this point. And I think I'm out of. I need Rhonas now. Is the one card. This should just get a block on the Glorybound Initiate, in my opinion. They could go the Champion of Wits. But this is a double bad part of my part. I should have anticipated some sort of board wipe and kept the Viziers. Versus blue-eye control, that's what you do. You just need to keep the Viziers back. Yeah, I think that's the correct block as well. I think that's the incorrect block. Okay, that's fine. Still going to play the land, might as well. 9, 10. So we don't really have any other relevant cards or land or no, so what am I trying to say? Forest. We only have a few forests left in the deck. So 3 and 1. So 3, 9, 8 lands left in the deck. 5 of them. So 3 of them are relevant. 5 of them are terrible. Ugh. Of course, Elira's in this deck. And Karn's just gonna start. Elira with Dusk Dawn and Angel of Sanctions. I'm not holding the Wild Growth Gibbage. It's called Ixalan's Binding. I can't even cast it. I always love playing the 17 land deck and the one flooding out too, by the way. I know there's not a lot left in the deck, though. Gotta love those. Dusk Dawn. Oh, and might as well throw an Approach the Second Sons in the list. What the hell is this deck? And we lost to it. Oh, I'm the joke here. Not my opponent. I'm the joke. My opponent just on a one-turn kill here. Well, no, the Deathgorger Scavenger helps me survive a turn? No, it doesn't. My opponent's going to attack in. Oh, my God. That's embarrassing. Wow, we're down to 2 wins and 2 losses. Now, every time I hype up a deck, this is exactly what happens. I guess those are the hardest decks to play against, is even when deck builders don't even know what the hell they're throwing into their deck. They just throw an Approach the Second Sons and Lyra and Angels of Sanctions and Karns and random stuff. I think this is keepable because of the Adventurer's Impulse. I think this is where the card is going to shine. Hopefully it can dig us to find that Vizier the Menagerie. Well, Brian, I've seen Dusted On. I've actually played Dusted On in various decks in the past. I've put it in No Catcher's Mind. The problem is Dusted On is usually a sideboard card. It's hard to really make it fit in a main, especially in this meta when there's so much blue-white control going around where it's just a dead card. It's an absolutely dead, does nothing card. Doesn't really get you anything back because the board wipe of choice is Settle the Wreckage, so you get zero value out of it. Again, let's just be salty here. I hate losing to something like that, but whatever. The curve was so horrible. They had a lot of just weird options. So we're playing against Merfolk. Merfolk can get out of hand if I have a slow hand, and we definitely do have a slow hand here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to lead off with the Merfolk Branchwalker and then go for another Llanowar Elf. Because we need to dig, and I'm going to keep that on the library because it's just another card that will allow me to find what I need. So we are on a time clock here because this is actually one of the decks that can go over the top of what we're doing. Second Turn Shaper Apprentice isn't the best lead. What they need to do is have unblockables versus us, and so far there's no unblockable and there's no Kumena out. Water Trap Weaver is a little early for that card to just getting for 2 damage. I'm fine with that. Now we are good on the Adventurer's Impulse. We'll use one of them. Found the Vizier the Menagerie. Sure, we'll take it. That's one of the key cards. Then we can use another one. This one I want to grab a land. I'll take another Llanowar Elf. I guess that's sort of a land. That sucks. Finding both Rhonas' Monument is one of the key cards in this matchup, too. But we're not in terrible shape. These Oases are kind of brutal at the moment. And we do not have a Rhonas' Monument on top. That is a that is a tough card. Now we are definitely in... Okay, now we're in really bad shape. I think I take the damage. My opponent is out of cards. Wildgrowth Walker's late to the party. We can throw out... We have to throw out the Vizier the Menagerie here. And Deathgorger Scavenger, is there anything even in the graveyard at the moment? There isn't. So I think just Wildgrowth Walker... we have to block. So Deathgorger Scavenger can actually block one of them. I think that's a better play, actually. Okay, so we're actually in decent shape, though. We have chump blockers. My opponent can really just attack into the Water Weaver Trap. Hopefully they just drew into a land. I don't want to go 3 and out here after I've talked about this deck, but this is usually a pretty easy match. I guess the Shaper Apprentice is going to put us on Winter Clock. I didn't even realize this game's flying. Yeah, as long as you're controlling their Merfolk. So actually we're on a 1-turn clock after this turn. Smart. So I need to find like a Explore card off the top. And it's the 4th Adventure Impulse. Womp, womp, womp. Wow, this is variance kicking me big time today. And yeah, there's nothing we can do there. Yep. That's just game. Okay, we'll play another league though. I am not going to end on that note. Have been a while since this deck has hit a 2-winner. Get a bunch. How do I have Raging Swordtooth at this point in time? Thought you started with a ton of them. We are close to popping this Vault progression. Vault progression, I think, needs to be bumped. You get 0.1% per rare, like what, 0.25 for uncommon and 0.01 for common or some crap like that. And so it's really, really tough. And then Mythic is like, what, 0.5? I don't know the breakdowns for it. So I'm answering questions. Cinder Shadow, what's up? I think I'm answering questions here and there. Let's go for another one here. And then maybe we can try not rank it. What the hell? I'm just going to concede this. Abort, abort, abort. How was I even clicked on rank construction? We just literally came out of a deck construction. See, it's so bad no one even plays rank construction anymore. What is even this deck that I'm playing? I don't know what I even clicked on. What was even clicked? It's some blue-green deck. Oh, it's a Rhonas' Monument where I tried to mess with the Champion of Wits. Well, let's play this for the hell of it, then we'll get back to doing a league here. So, like I said, though, I did get all the way to Masters 1 just by doing dailies with the Rhonas' Monument. Not a lot of grinding involved. By doing it. So usually one league will get you your daily, no matter what it is. The stupid ass attack with 25 creatures, play 20 lands. Like, can they have a little bit of creativity? Just a little, a tiny bit of creativity. This might have a God Pharaoh's Gift in it. Who knows? I do not know what this deck list is. I have a great hand though. It's always nice to have the combo. Well, the thing is, Ivalice, that's how I actually grinded, is by playing red. We did play one red deck win matchup, but UI control and red deck wins. That's all I play, all day long. And Rhonas' Monument does great against both of them. See, I don't see a lot of control. And I see ramming up at night like crazy. Twilight Prophet out already, huh? No City's Blessing yet, so doesn't that only... Yeah, it only happens off of City's Blessing, so... Alright, we can go crazy here. I think against a black deck, I don't know if I just want to run out of Vizier and Menandry yet. I think just throwing out like a Llanowar Elves and a Champion of Wits is fine. Nah. Let's do the Vizier. No City's Blessing. We are in control of this game. I'm pretty sure this is a God Pharaoh's Gift build. Right? I don't know. Somebody's messing around with. Vraska's Contempt? Nah, no one cares about a Jadelight Ranger. Tender Shoot Dryad. That card can be annoying. But is my opponent going to have enough turns for that to happen? Okay, so here we go. Champion of Wits. What don't we need? We can throw away this Champion of Wits. And we can throw away I think just a land or else at this point. Do we need this other island? Do we play a land this turn? It doesn't. We can throw away the island for sure. Chapman Wits is kind of cool in this deck, actually. I think that's my problem. I was trying to find some sort of draw. And because you never want to find, like, Rhonas' Monuments or so many lands off your Explorer. This version is actually kind of cool. But I think it's unnecessary. I think it just makes your mana so terrible. Alright, my opponent's gonna... Opponent needs to find a way to deal with the Rhonas' Monument. If they play a Tendership Dryad, it's just over. Yeah. Ghalta! So, Ghalta's still fine to play. Rhonas' Monument. That one's good to get rid of. Do I need these other creatures to gain trample to try to get through as much damage? Or just throw it all? So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Geez, I don't know. Actually, this might not be over. Instead of on the Vizier, maybe I should be throwing this all on like the Champion. Or spreading it out to try to do as much damage as possible. Throw this one in the graveyard. Rhonas can go on top. We'll play Rhonas. Okay, so this will force out some blocks. I think we do attack in the Vizier. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have to block with everything, and then... Yeah, this is going to force out... I mean, the Jadelight's definitely biting the book. Jadelight's probably going to block. That's fine. All right. One just scoops it up. So again, that's how this one is... That was the blue. Let's just check this deck out. Real quick to see what it's like. What was I messing around with this deck? Gate to the Afterlife. Yep. Okay, so Godvale's Gift was in here. Nissa, Steward Element. 3 Ghaltas. 1 Majestic Matriarch. Vizier the Menagerie. Llanowar, Drover, Ixalan's Binding, Merfolk Branchwasher, Wildgrowth Walker, Jadelight Ranger. So it's very similar to the deck we were just playing, except running Nissa as a... This is kind of a sweet little brew. Nissa is the card draw, as the Scry 2 is actually really good. If you can get this out on even turn 2 Nissa, Llanowar Elves into a 1-drop Nissa, and then you Scry 2 immediately, it's at the 3. And once it's at the 3, that's pretty good, especially Vizier Menagerie Nissa combo. That is not too shabby. I think if we can get some more Hinterland Harbors, this might be a... Is there a Gate to the Afterlife but no Godpharaoh's Gift in this deck? That's embarrassing. I don't think you need a card like Majestic Matriarch. Ghalta is still okay. I don't know if Ghalta needs to be in here more than a one of either. At this point, though, I think we'd need like more Hinterland Harbors, and I don't think I have them. I think that's the problem. Yeah. So Nissa would be also a card you'd want to go up. So once I get the mythics for this, I'll probably try this deck out again. Because I think that was one of the problems. Like, usually the best thing in the Magic, this is the tip that I can give everyone, is when you lose to a particular matchup, try to figure out what made you lose. Oh, you can always say variance. Of course, that last match, the match before that, drawing 4 Adventurous Impulses, and especially, going through 3 of them and then find that last one at the very, very, very key pivotal time to have it on top of your library. Yeah. Running into a random Dust Dawn. Yeah. Okay. That's just life. You don't need to chalk those up of what made you lose. Variance made you lose. But if you start to look at the cards that you could have beens, or is it card draw I need, or I just flamed out, I didn't need here. Like, if you can figure out what made you lose and then adjust, that is what inevitably ends up being a very good deck. When I built most of the decks that I have had success with, Soul Sisters was a big one. Soul Sisters is able to identify that if you throw something like Auric Champion in it, it makes the deck very, very hard to deal with when they're playing, when the meta was like something like Burn, UWR Control, Jund. And when I was playing regular Soul Sisters, then I just kept, Auric Champion was in sideboards, it was never in the main board. But it's like, okay, I lose game 1, and then have to sideboard in game 2, my opponents already get usually better than me after the sideboard. So if I can put in a card that proactively goes against most of the meta game 1, then I can win that game 1 a lot more handedly, and then you have a shot at least winning one of the next 2 matchups. So same thing with like a lot of the decks that I've had success with, like the Jund Dredge clear back in the day during Born of the God Standard or Thera Standard. That started off as a very janky synergy build between Jared, Golgari, and something like Pack Rat. It was like, oh, if I can throw a bunch of stuff in the graveyard and then fling Jared. And then over time, it's like, okay, this deck actually works, and this Desecration Demon is actually a really good fling target. Just throw that in there. And it became a very good deck after the point. Marionette Master started off as a very janky deck, and I was able to have just an insane win percentage on MTG with Marionette Master. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is figure out what's making you lose, and kind of chink up those holes, and you can actually have a pretty decent little deck. And this is something I'm not, even though I've got all the way Masters 1, it's grinded very well, I still think this deck does have some room for improvement. And finding those little areas where I think this deck can improve is not only rewarding, but can lead to even something better. So still, Llanowar Elves into turn 2 Nissa with a deck that has a bunch of 3-drops. I think that's really, really potent. So we'll have to give this a go sometime. Definitely wants like another, probably wants to max out on Nissas, or at least three or four. And I think everything else the numbers look pretty good. Wow, I'm really skipping on the lands here. 16 lands? Yeah, that's a little low. That's way low. You don't want to be running 16 lands. I don't even know how I drew lands this last. This probably wants to be 18. I think what I was trying to do is just throw the decks in to see where I was at. This was not supposed to be a complete deck, and somehow we queued up with it. So you want to have 4 here. 19 lands, I think, is what this deck probably wants. 18 or 19 lands. And these want to be hinterland harbors. These want to be less on the islands. And this is a pretty good deck. All right, let's give another go with the quick constructed, and see if we can get some snowball matchups where the monument just goes out of control. Micah, who is my go-to number 1 EDH general? What is my goal? If people are playing Degenerate, then I just bust out Animar and say, okay, if you want to be Degenerate, I'll be Degenerate. It happened today. Someone's playing a Jorah. The Jorah of the Weatherlight, which is an absolutely degenerate commander. If you've played against it, you know what I mean. It will go off the turn after Jorah comes out, so you have to put pressure to go off quicker. And I swear all the players here are stupid. They allow it to happen one time, don't pressure him the next game. Allow it to happen again. It's like, oh, we lost to an infinite combo, and then do it again. Oh, we lost. Like they can't figure out. They just kill Jorah. If he's not gonna even try to protect it, just kill it, or play ways to actually. I was actually impressed. A lot of people are throwing in Dampening Sphere now in our play group. But so now every time I see the player that plays Jorah, I just bust out Animar and say, okay, if you want to go off on turn 4, I'll go off on turn 3. Have fun with that. My favorite EDH general is probably Etali. I don't know, Etali's really fun. Just because I actually don't even have any win cons in my Etali deck. Well, there is some, like I can assemble, but it's usually assembling my opponent's cards. Are the win cons. So anyway, this is a very good hand, even though it's slow. We're dead to Ramina, but keeping Rhonas' Monument and a Vizier of the Menandry is always something good. Another Merfolk. What is up with this? And I find another Rhonas' Monument. So again, we might be too slow for this deck, especially if they come out with puts a +1 counter on a Merfolk card. Yep, Deep Root Elite. I called it. But we have the ability to go over the top here. With Vizier and Samut. I mean, my opponent is really on a clock here. I need to find a 1-drop. I'd love to find... Okay, now we're really... I don't know what's up with putting on the Deeper Elite. I think that's a huge mistake. So we'll do Vizier. My opponent also missed a land drop. Hey, look at that. We find something off the top with Wild Growth Walker. That's going to hit really good off the Jade Light Ranger. And we have a Jade Light on top too. All right, so now I don't think we can lose this. That's one of the good things you didn't see versus the Merfolk matchup last time was the Wild Growth Walker. It's also a very key card. Triple Deep Root Elite. Is my opponent can be smart and actually put on the Mistcloak Herald here now, rather than the Deep Root Elite. Okay, my opponent is not going to be smart. Okay, that's fine. We don't care. No blockers. We are going to gain a lot of life this turn, or we can just, since I have a land on top, we're definitely going to go the Jade Light over the Samut. Found 2 lands. And Adventure's Impulse, so same thing. We're just going to throw out the other Jade Light Ranger. Go back up to a 23. This one I think we want to get through here. Graveyard Bat. I think Library's fine with the Wild Growth Walker. And... oh yeah, because we can still cast it. Yep, that's really good. I have to draw another Rhonas' Monument. Alright, that's fine. You think you're the aggro deck, buddy? I'm the aggro deck. Down to a 6. We have Samut coming out next turn that's just going to finish us off. Yeah, Animar is absurd. I've got a really degenerate Animar, but it's actually not even as degenerate. I've seen some of them. I'm Animar... more of the Animar of the Eldrazi, so eventually Cloudstone Curio into looping creatures, a bazillion ways to tutor it up. Degenerate cards like Earthcraft, of course, Cloudstone Curio is insanely degenerate in the deck. Tidespout Tyrant, which is getting a reprint, by the way. So basically, if I can turn 2 Animar, turn 3, a lot of times I can just go off there, especially if it's like Earthcraft in the deck. Yeah, either one, any one of the. I'm not a big Morph fan, Micah. I've tried the Morph route. Well, my opponent is not dead. That's the good news for my opponent. We kind of miffed into another land off the top. We do have Samut, though, that can give the Wild Growth Walker a boost, and then my opponent is going to have to block. We can also attack in with the Jade Light Ranger. So I wonder if we can actually get big enough, because we can Oasis on Samut as well. No, we can't. We don't have the mana for that. So I think I'm just going to attack in with these 3, 4, 5. If my opponent blocks incorrectly here, we just win. Yeah, I think this is still fine. Because Samut has Flash. That's another cool thing about Samut. So 3/3 there. 5/5 there. I'm going to push 4 damage through. Okay, we win. That's why I like Samut. There is, once I get more Rootbound Crags, maybe we'll try more Samuts rather than the Oasises. I'm not sure if that's the right route to go, though. Anyway, my other go-to commander decks, Balfour the Defiled, I have actually a deck tech on that on YouTube. It's been upgraded quite a bit since that. That video is 2 years old, 3 years old, something like that. So there's been a bunch of sets since then. But Balfour the Defiled is probably my favorite commander to play. Noth the Guiltly, it's also really fun. A Tally, because like I said, it doesn't have win cons on its own, so I have to kind of be creative with what I find off my opponents. It's probably my favorite Brawl deck for sure, is a Tally. Yeah, those are... Theta Adele is always fun, but Theta Adele becomes a headache too because the board state just gets so messy. I like Noth because it just empties everyone's hand, so I don't have to worry about what they're doing because it's pretty soon my opponents are on top deck mode. Alrighty, so here with Wild Growth Walker, I still think we want a Forest with the Adventurer's Impulse. We have the Vizier Menagerie already. We are going up against Rametup now. I wish I would have taken the other route. We get to play first versus Rametup? That's unheard of. All right, so we're going to put out the Wild Growth Walker. If this can hit a Lightning Strike, my opponent needs to hit a Lightning Strike for the Wild Growth Walker. We don't actually have an Explore card, so it's actually not that threatening. My opponent doesn't know that, though, unless they are actually watching this stream. Hey, Act Duels, if you're watching the stream. Okay, they're going to Magma Spray it. Still a 2-for-1. I am perfectly okay with that. And it gives a target for the Deathgorger Scavenger, which I don't really care about too much. Another Fnatic Firebrand. Yeah, not any threat right now to have to put out the Deathgorger Scavenger, so we're going to go Rhonas' Monument. Because then we can double cast next turn. I think Vizier is still the right play, though. Yeah, still not in any... I'm not in any danger so far. Opponent's got a pretty decent little start going, but I think our start's better. Vizier Menagerie is actually tough for our opponent, and of course that's a dead draw. Ugh, find a land off top, but that's fine. Again, this is going to require a 2-for-1. If my opponent does have a Lightning Strike, it's going to take the Fanatical Firebrand. Earthshaker Canner, okay. So it's just going to say I can't block this turn. I'm fine with that. And I take 6 or 5. Let's go down to a 10. Oh, you're going to try to bait out the Magma Spray. Is that what's going on? Okay, that's fine. So that was about the biggest sign my opponent's got a Magma Spray. I probably should have let it for the Deathgorger Scavenger. We're going to play a Deathgorger Scavenger first. Unfortunately, there's no land on top. So MTG, or Arena's not being nice to us today. We'll go Deathgorger Scavenger. At least this gets value too. And now my opponent's going to have to use the Magma Spray on the Deathgorger Scavenger. Yep, that's fine. Our Bronzodon be thrashing. Opponent gets to take the 7 damage, and we get to be even with our opponent. So the only card that I'm worried about is like a Hazard off the top. Yeah, not worried about that. Opponent's probably going to start attacking you with everything just to start losing creatures. I think my opponent wants to get 3-for-1 here. Okay, we are definitely okay with a 3-for-1. The thing is, though, we know we have a land on top, which is still pretty crappy. There's a lot of dead cards we can just draw into off the top. Not that one, though. That's a beautiful card. Beautiful. This card's really... Oh, another beautiful card. This also gets rid of the Earthshaker Kenra. My opponent's going to scoop here. Yep. So again, at this point you can see this deck's really good versus Rametup. I want to show a white-blue control because it's all about playing around the Settle the Wreckages. And I'm not actually don't care with a 18-land deck, Settle the Wreckage. A lot of times you attack them with your like 0-3s and 2-1s, and they have to Settle the Wreckage to get rid of like a Ghalta, but you also get a bunch of other lands. And then if you have a Vizier, you don't attack with Vizier. You have a Vizier stuck out. You just go through your deck at that point. The next turn you just recover and attack with everything. So off to a good start here. Merfolk, and this hand is not ideal. But it's acceptable. Like, we have the combo, and whenever you see the combo, you should be salivating. Unfortunately, though, we could get stuck. This is a Scarab God can be a tough match. A lot of them are starting to run Bantus. And I hope... Oh, didn't Essence Scatter it. And we missed our land drop, or not a land drop, but we missed another draw on a land. So there's 2 and out. We hit this one, though. That one's good. I don't feel comfortable casting a Rhonas' Monument into Counter Magic. This is a card we have to stick. So I think we're going to go Thrashing Brontodon. First, we're going to attack with our Wild Growth Walker. Yeah. You don't want this countered. Okay. You don't want the Rhonas' Monument countered. So if my opponent taps out, like the best case scenario is like Ravenous Chupacabra here. We'll attack in again. Like I don't want Rhonas countered either, but it's still better than getting Rhonas' Monument countered. Of course, we missed that land drop. My opponent doesn't care about the Rhonas Indomitable. So it looks like they're just going to look at the top 3. Okay, draw 2 cards. I don't know. Missing that land drop was brutal. Just throw out a Ravenous Chupacabra, kill the Wild Growth Walker. Come on. Come on. You know you hate that the Wild Growth Walker. Scarab God coming out here. That one's actually sucks because I gave him a Thrashing Brontodon to actually kill the Rhonas' Monument. Unfortunately, I think I have to just play it out, though. So, unfortunately, the double missing the land drop is awful. Because we do have a lot of cards that can give Scarab God. Usually I'm not too worried about a Scarab God. At this point, like we would have hit land drop. Kept up with lands here. Rhonas' Monument comes out. We get board state on board. Our opponent has to decide, hey, do I want to reanimate a creature? And unfortunately, the Thrashing Brontodon is the worst case scenario because we gave our opponent something to kill the Rhonas' Monument. So we're going to allow our opponent to make the wrong play here, and hopefully they do. I hope my opponent does not think Rhonas' Monument is a threat and just goes from there. That works. Yeah, that's unfortunately a thing. Keeps up the counter magic too and the Thrashing Brontodon. Yeah, Scarab God can give our deck a problem. The problem is Scarab God is also a really, really garbage deck at the moment on Arena. And why I say that is it's actually not very good versus Ramanup. It's people think it is, but then they play the matchup and then Scarab God's quite worthless. The Vraska's Contempt and the Cravings have to come out at the exact right moment. A lot of times the Ramanup can outrace something like a Vraska's Contempt. And then if you take the secondary deck after Ramanup, UI Control just farms Scarab God all day long. Without a sideboard, I mean, that's where Black actually has a chance versus UI. Traditionally, Black always loses to UI. But they have a sideboard that is really, really tuned to beating UI, and Black usually does have some like ways to rip out particular cards. Have they been copied? Anyway, nope, nothing's been copyrighted yet. So my opponent's going to end a turn, get a Thrashing Brontodon, I assume. That was the worst card, again, for our opponent to... We're not dead. We're pretty much dead, though. That's the problem with cards like Scarab God, though. They require answers immediately. Oh, also, by the way, let me finish the thought about Scarab God. So it's awful versus a lot of the like blue-eye controls. And there's a ton of like Ixalan's Bindings and Cast Outs. And there's like a lot of these other white secondary decks that have answers for Scarab God, which once it gets hit, it's very, very tough for them to then deal with. I can give my opponent a Galta, no problem. Well, Negate. A mainboard negate. Lovely. Yeah, Galta's fine here. Also, one other thing about Scarab God, if they don't find it, especially on turn number 5, it's just such a card at the moment that just doesn't really do what they want it to do. Because they have to spend a turn to cast it out, and a lot of times don't have a way to activate it. Alright, maybe I should have actually just went on the offensive here with Rhonas rather than trying to do anything. Maybe this is a bad plan on my part. You got 2 claimed from the bird sounds, huh? Who's claiming them, Rusty? You need to say who's actually claiming the YouTube video. Is it Wizards of the Coast? Ugh, that's a good card for my opponent to get as well. My opponent have another. What does my opponent have in hand? Kind of a weird attack with the Thrashing Brontodon. It could be meaning another Craving. Okay, so is there another Craving in hand here? Weird. Okay, I'm okay with that though, because that's like an activation now that my opponent doesn't get. So I can I could attack in here, pump up the attack in for 9. I think I'm going to go visit the menagerie. So my opponent wanted the Wild Growth Walker, I assume, is what my opponent was is wanting. I don't know if I care too much. The Death Gorger Scavenger is going to be nice. Yeah, I think that was a very greedy play by my opponent. Reckless. This opponent is incredibly reckless here. They can gain life and get a counter. That's not the card I wanted. We have Samut that can come in and oh, man. Like, I want to hold back mana, though, but that's just a losing proposition. I've got 2 cards in my opponent's hand. I'm starting to take damage. We can flash in Samut, though, and then give Samut Trample, which might be the way that we get out of this. Because it'll activate Galta as a 4/4. I think I'm just going to end the turn. Yeah, that Rhonas' Monument getting counter, of course, is rough. Oh yeah, I'm not going to have enough blockers here. So I guess not blocking the Moment of Craving, having my own, having these 2 cards was the right play. Opponent should just see the kill here. No attacks, huh? Just going to try to go on. I don't think Samut can get the job done, though. Especially when the opponent, I guess, drew another counterspell. Again, this is a pretty 50-50 matchup, though. I honestly don't mind playing against it. Very Scarab God dependent, having it out on time. Alright. Big Band Entertainment on behalf of... Okay, you got to fight it, Rusty, because the bird sounds are not theirs. The bird sounds are... Yeah, the claim is not... Not correct. Yeah, Ross, after this I can definitely look at Scred list. I don't know if I'm the right person to even talk about Scred at the moment, though, because I have zero clue what's even being played at Modern at the moment. This is a key hand just because of the Adventurer's Impulse, but we're still in a weird position. We need to draw a land even after the Adventure of the Impulse, so... Man, it's loving to draw some Moot today. Early. We're going to lose this one as well. Womp, womp, womp. Okay, this is great. Okay, we get the Rhonas Monument out. This is ahead of the Scarab God. This is going to be very, very tough for my opponent to come back from. So, lucked out there by topping that land. Big Band Entertainment on behalf of... Blah, 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 blah. And you weren't playing anything else in the background whatsoever, Rusty, huh? All right, so here, I think the correct play is just to play the Diviner over the Vizier the Menagerie. I'd still like to draw some. Love to hit a land, of course. We can put that in the graveyard. And now, like, Rhonas is fine. Deathgorger Scavenger is actually probably the better play. This one will probably get countered. But at this point, my opponent's going to have to be reactive. Which is good. Because the rest of our creatures are going to get value. Admiral's Order's a tricky one. Deadeye Brawler. Have to have City's Blessing it, and it's got Death Touch. I don't really care. It's a great time to just put Vizier and Menagerie out. Now it's going to force my opponent to have a Vraska. I don't know why I just attacked there. Wasn't even done. I'm reading over here Korean, and then I click attack out of impulse. And right after I do it, I figure it out. Whatever. And the opponent does a Vraska's Contempt. Jeez! And I don't have a way to pressure off, so I just miffed this game big time. Because it's damn chat! You damn chat, people. Just kidding. Alright, so here, Rhonas the Indomitable is not the play. I think we just want to get as many creatures. We'll Merfolk Branchwalker to try to get a... Graveyard this. And Rhonas over Llanowar. I think we're so far behind on this one actually. Now at this point, I actually needed that Ixalan's Diviner out there here to do damage, to do 4 damage. I'm too busy like trying to think of what's Korean. What is Korean here in the background or in the music? I don't hear. And then okay, I'll just attack with this because you know that's what the Koreans would do. A lot of people find that as a threat. It's not that big of a threat. My opponent doesn't need to. That's fine. Thins out my deck. Don't like the thinning out. Needs to find another Vraska's Contempt for Rhonas. Don't have City's Blessing. I don't know why you want to trade 2 damage. I don't even know if Galta's... I think... With mana open, I don't think Galta's the right play. Should get countered. No, okay, so there probably is a Rhonas' Monument. Or, excuse me, Vraska's Contempt. So my opponent will probably... If Vraska's Contempt, no, Rhonas is probably still the right play to Vraska's Contempt. I could also get blinked here. No, just going to take... That was a big attack. Hieroglyphic elimination. All right, so even Scarab God at this point is not a threat. I'm not... The Samut, though, is just such a liability. I don't know if Samut's actually losing me more games than winning. It did win us one game today, though. So, I don't know if I need to invest in more root-bound Crags. I don't like the mana open, that's for sure. Still don't want to get like something like the Galta countered. See if Jade Light can actually hit us some lands. This one will probably get countered. 5 cards still left in hand. A lot of Moment of Cravings. Counter spells. Galore. I guess we can cast Galta. We have a Llanowar Elf. Oh, it found us a land anywhere. Not a root bound, though. I think we're going to throw the Diviner on the graveyard. Is it something I want? No, that's fine. That's actually fine to cast next turn. They all have trample. So needs of Vraska's Contempt something else. At least the Brawler's taken care of. If it just goes to damage, we just win here. Gotta be a Contempt somewhere. On Rhonas, okay. Still take some damage. Still have the Rhonas' Monument. We still have a Diviner coming up. We still have a Galta Primal Hunger. There we go. Alright. Now when we win, I can calm down my saltiness. We only have 1 loss too. Why was I thinking we had 2 losses? Up to 3 wins, 1 loss. We didn't let the Koreans get us this time. That's interesting, Rusty. This is what happens though. I'm assuming you're relatively a small channel. So they pray. Absolutely. But why would they give you a strike at this point? Not a copyright claim when you don't... Are you even monetizable at this point though, Rusty? Usually it's just a bot that does it. Yeah, again, we have to just bring it to Wiz's attention. What will happen is then Big Band Entertainment will... basically, the creator will be able... Big Band Entertainment is going to lose their ability to claim. There actually was an entire Russia, a lot of Asian companies and things like that started entire... Because you got to think, even making a dime in some of these countries is like making $10 here. And so it became very lucrative to just false claim, set up this, shell of a company and false claim everything. And then YouTube just is like, oh, the burden's on the when a claim happens, the burden's actually on the person being claimed to show that it's not copyrighted. And so they got away with a lot of, monetizable revenue at that point. And even if they get shut down at that point, they've already made the money, pocketed the money, and they're gone. So, alrighty. So we're going to Jade Ranger here. No, we're Wild Growth Walker here. But usually in a bigger channel, they're a lot less willing. I'm actually going to Diviner here because I want to get in for 7. So the problem with this hand is we're like out of cards. I'm going to actually have to keep that on top just so we have more gas. But you can see this is a turn 3. Our opponent's done a 13 and we have a board state of 4 creatures. So here could be, I was worried about a Bontu's Last Reckoning, but it looks like, yeah, my opponent's dead. Not quite dead this turn. Close, though. Was that 13? That was 13. That was 14. My opponent was dead. Turn 4 kill. Yeah, Rusty, either fight or don't care. Like I said, are you 3 subs and 260 views, you're not even monetizable, so I don't even know if you even care. I wouldn't even... A claim just means that they take the monetization. It really bugs me when I make like a video and only use like a 10-second clip of it, and they take all of my ad revenue. What I think YouTube needs to figure out is like, okay, 1/32 of the video had copyrighted, so somehow divide that up. I don't know what of using any sort of copyright. They need a way of copyright sharing mode rather than copyright claim. But well, I appreciate it, Sofa. This is kind of my baby at the moment. I get kind of obsessed with decks for a while until I perfect them. This is kind of my Marionette Master of this day and age. So even though I haven't been creating a lot of content, I've still been playing a lot of Arena, which is good. This actually means I'm playing Magic. Actually, I've been playing a lot of Magic, just mainly in store. We have a pretty robust scene at the moment. I'm sure it's going to die down for the summer. The bad news about the summer is I tend to get distracted by a little thing called fishing because it's kind of my real love. A huge gamer, but I love the outdoors, and I got this dog here that has to be taken out. Otherwise, she is a pain. So I think the Diviners is better here, just because it can block the Dauntless Bodyguard. This is Knights.deck. Didn't have a turn 2 drop. Appreciate the sub, by the way, Stephen Powers. We're going to actually throw this on our library. You tend to want to keep Explore cards on top because they have more ways to dig. History of Benalia. All right, so we're kind of in a weird position. Double Knights out, History of Benalia. This turn I am going to go Rhonas' Monument because it's going to allow us to explode the next turn. So let's hope not to see another History of Benalia. Usually... All right, let's not give us ourselves some bad. Ouch. Usually this is a pretty easy matchup, especially if we get a Wild Growth Walker off the top, womp womp. Then we would have been in great shape. So let's go. This is still not terrible. We got some blockers. They can also block the Knights for being 4/3s. I'm going to throw it in the graveyard. It is a little risky to do that, because I don't want to hit a land necessarily here, because I want these to be 3/2s, so you can block as many of these Knights as possible. Alright, so we're going to keep that one on the library. And this allows us to go... I think we can just go Rhonas. This is kind of a weird thing because how much damage do I take if I just block with 2? Because I can go for lethal next turn if the right cards are on top of my library. 2, 4, 6, 8. 10, 12, 14, 16 damage is what I'm counting. They have Vigilance is the problem too, though. I think I'm going to attack here. Green White Tokens is a great deck, by the way, Chris. It's explosive. Oh, come on. That's the last card in hand is a Radiant Destiny? You gotta be joking. That sucks. I don't think I can... Yeah, I can't get through enough damage, can I? With Rhonas. And these get all +2/+2 again. So, like I said, though, usually... This was a double History of Benalia draw. Plus Radiant Destiny coming out. Perfect. We can actually block everything next turn. And it cracks again. Okay, so, well, let's just see here. Not the card I was looking for. So if I go, I mean, that's... No, it's only 10 damage. So, yeah, it's pointless. Pointless attacking because we need Rhonas to pump up this Merfolk Branchwalker so that I can actually attack in. Brutal. That Radiant Destiny was the big winner. So as this cracks again, we have to block with everything, and my opponent loses 2 knights. I lose everything is the problem. And then I'm really at the mercy. Yeah, that's the card that does us in. We're actually not dead here. But we're still not in good shape. So it's either Vizier or Menagerie off the top or bust. And we get another land. Jeez, flooding for our little 18 land deck. That was brutal. Wildgrowth Walker would have been huge in that matchup. Though we would have had a big anything above like a 6 toughness creature would be able to block each one of those turns, resisted the damage, and at that point, a lot of times we can outdraw. The flood was real that last game. Another very good hand. All right, so this is a matchup we shouldn't be losing. Or a game. This is probably ideal. You have 2 mana dorks, 2 lands, a Rhonas' Monument. Worst case scenario, we're going to get something that can actually like kill the Llanowar Elf turn 1. If not, Rhonas' Monument comes out. So we don't want to see Ramen-Up. This is actually a pretty bad hand versus Ramen-Up. Yeah, we're fine. These are my favorite, is the mirrors. Because we go over the top of our opponents with like... Even if my opponent puts out the Steel champion, I think we'll be able to race. Yep, Steel Champion. Don't like hitting that card. Are you kidding me? Never mind. The Rhonas Monument. Deck. All the Rhonas Monuments. Monument galore. We were looking good. You have 2 dead cards, though. It's like mulling to 5. That's one of the problems with this deck, though. I think you do want to run 4, though, because it's very, very pivotal to the strategy. So, worst case scenario is like a Savage Stomp type card to kill off the Vizier. Alright, don't care about Rhonas. And speak of the devil, we have one of our own. Hello, devil. Unfortunately, it can block, and it does have Death Touch. I kind of want to keep this on top, but I think I'm going to put it in the graveyard. Not Headland here? Yes, perfectly. Perfect. Death Gorger Scavenger can stay on the top. Now we're in great shape. What's going on at Fatal Aria? Rhonas' Monument of your own, except you can't utilize your Rhonas Monument as well as I can. Because anything you can do, I can do better. Yeah, we don't care about you. Yeah, throw those cards in the graveyard. Well then. We'll hit lands. I still don't want to attack in. We're kind of this like Rhonas the Indomitable showdown here. Yeah. Do I want to attack in? Thanks for the life, though. I can block with the Steel Leaf Champion if my opponent decides to attack in. I don't think I want to race. I think I have the better ability of exploding. 3 cards in hand. We have 2 cards in hand. Ours are dead, though. Galta is... Galta's... That's what I think about Galta. It's good. It's going to be able to push through pretty good. In fact, if my opponent can explode on 1 turn, we might not be able to block with enough. Yeah, that one's actually... That's rough. That is rough. Another... We need to stop missing with our Vizier the Menageries. It's getting annoying. Beautiful. Okay, so... Graveyard the Adventurous Impulse. Oh, beautiful again. There. At least we hit some lands off the top. An 11/11. I could swing in right now. Dish off some good damage. I think I need to. What does my opponent swing in for next turn? Quite a bit. But we should be able to block the vast majority of it. We can block the 2 Steel Leafs. We get in for 6 is all, though. Is that worthwhile? Do I want to really... This can block another Steel Leaf champion. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right play here. I feel like we start outdrawing our opponent. I don't like the 2 cards in my opponent's hand. They could be Rhonas' Monuments as well, though, right? I mean, even that's a relevant card. Oi, oi, oi. Gonna find a playset of the Steel Leaf Champions, huh? Steel Leaf Champions is a card you can play in this deck. I just have not been the greatest fan of it. I guess if you want to go like a Maverin type strategy with the Vizier, it's not terrible. I think that putting it on Galta is a huge mistake. Okay, alright, so our opponent's going to go all in here. So we're going to need to put as much damage... Like, Rhonas is pointless to block because it's Death Touch Trample. So, Steel Leaf there. Steel Leaf there, because it's the only one that can block it. It doesn't... This has Trample as well. That on the Jadelight Ranger. The Wild Growth Walker... Everything else probably... We need to block with everything, I believe. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14 toughness. No, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 4 and 11 is going through. So we actually will need to put a few on. There is another trample damage going here. I want to keep the Wild Growth Walker alive and the Vizier alive. And so I don't think we need... So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 6 going through, 13 going through, 14, 15 going through. Timeout used here. I can't even see with this stupid arena. So 2 going through here, none going through there, none going through there, 7 going through there. So I'm effectively at a 10. So I need to block 11 of the damage from Galta. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. 4, 11. I'm only taking 11 here. I think I'm overkilling here. Do I have enough to kill? I'm out of time here. I don't even know if that did anything. Okay, so that was a terrible attack in my opinion by my opponent. Should have just... I think my opponent didn't want to wait though. So we played it out right. We kept all of our pivotal cards. The J-Light was of course the best card possible. On top, oh, we get another J-Light. Rhonas, yeah, we'll put on Vizier here. Because we don't care about blocking with Vizier. Library, of course, of that, we gain some life. Get a land here. Hey, hey! So, did the correct blocks. I don't know if... I don't think my opponent could have waited. We would have gained a lot of life there. Alright, so we have a chance. We just need to go 2-0 here. To finally do a 7 wins, it's a lot harder than it usually is. Usually by the second time, every other attempt, I usually go 7 wins. It's going up Chris, or going on Legendary Mana. I think this is very keepable. I actually want to make a historic using Galta, Rhonas, Traxos. I guess I have to take the Wild Growth Walker. I mean, it's, depending on what matchup this is, it's good. Am I drafting this weekend? I'll be drafting some Battle Bond like crazy this weekend. Hey, knock it off, Arena! What the hell is up with the multiple Rhonas' monuments every game? Do we want Merfolk Branch? Nope. We'll go Mr. Wild Growth Walker. Feel free to use your turn to Lightning Strike my Walker. Walker Texas Ranger. Yep. Still okay. That means my opponent now didn't use something. Every game. I have to take the land here, let the Vizier go, because we can't afford another drop without the land. Hey, we hit a land there. Again, this is why I got frustrated and started going Champions of Wits with this. Is like I said, this Rhonas Monument, you never want multiples. Now we're running into multiple lands. Best case scenario, my opponent has like tons of braids. And I think I have to try to race. Quit trying to tell me there's Viziers on the top, you lion deck. Those were Adventurous Impulsed. A little early for a Hazoret. This is stupid. I think I just have to try to race. I mean, this is kind of a pointless... I mean, they're down to an 8. Unfortunately, my opponent just, like, unloads the hand here. Can attack with Hazoret. That was a weird attack. Gonna do the Exert again? No, decided not to attack. We do find another Merfolk Branch Walker. Well, this would have been an easy... I can force off double blocks. No, I can't. Attack, attack, attack. So we have 8 on board. So my opponent would have to block one of them. Just block here and then block there, take 5. I mean, that's good. Gets rid of 2 problematic cards. Puts my opponent down to 6. We got chump blockers for days with the Hazoret. We can throw any one of these in front of it. Triple ramming up Ruins is a little bit concerning. Doesn't even attack in. Hey, look what it gives us now. Wild Growth Walker, 9 years late. And this is pointless to even attack in. This is where it gets frustrating with Hazoret. Hazorets can, like, just win this board state. Like, here's where this deck needs a draw. Like, we can still draw into a... No, Adventurous Impulse, there's 2 in the graveyard. This is why I end up putting Karn back in this, too. Can't attack in with Hazoret. Bad attack, in my opinion. That was a pretty poor attack, in my opinion. Even if there is a Magma Spray, that's fine. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Still, that's 2 damage we don't have to take. Oh, okay. Now we're fine. No more crying. We found the Vizier. Especially we have a creature. Oh, look at that. We do. So the Merfolk Branchwalker can get in here. Sup. Has no choice but to block this Merfolk Branchwalker and still gets through some damage. Okay, you just want to lose. All right, that works too. That's fine with me. I think we pretty much had that game at that point once the Vizier Menagerie came out. But alrighty, 1 more to go 7. And look at that, we might actually get this. And we're going to this Crazy J because the guy's crazy. That's true. My opponent did have a choice. The choice is to throw the game. You are correct. I mean, in all honesty, what? My opponent can top deck like a Glorybringer and then be back in this, you know, kill a blocker, get in there for, I have to chump with the other one, and kill a Vizier at Menagerie, and then my opponent would have gone down to a 1, though, and I could probably kill in the backswing. All right, this is a very keepable hand. I'm happy with this. The Wild Growth Walker strategy can win a lot of matchups. So, yay, let's go against Knights again. So I want some rematch. Rematch against Knights. I want to showcase the Wild Growth Walker. We still haven't played against a control deck. This is unreal for not seeing a control, blue-white control. And speak of the devil comes. Main board negate. You're not playing a main board. No, there's not a main board negate. You didn't do it. There's no main board negate. Just quit. No suspense. Hey, told you. It's an Essence Scatter. That's going to be a very tough card again for my opponent to deal with. Needs to find a cast out or Nixon's Binding as soon as possible. Now I just start getting in for the damage. I would want to, what we want to do is just throw out a Wild Growth Walker. It's fine. It's a useless spell, actually. Now, we can live on the edge here and go Merfolk Branchwalker and be like, we're going to draw a land on the top here so we can still attack with our Llanowar Elf. Yes, that is what we like to see. We are in the driver's seat, boys. All right, so take 7. How about that on turn 3? You are down to 13. None of these cards I even give a crap about Settle the Wreckage, so my opponent actually can't even attack in with Settle the Wreckage. So we're just going to go for lethal here, rather than go for a Vizier the Menagerie. Actually, we don't have quite lethal. I actually hope there's a counterspell here. No. Okay. I still don't want to go Vizier. I want to wait till my opponent taps out. We'll put it on an elf. Therefore, if my opponent seals away the Merfolk Branchwalker, it doesn't feel as bad. How's this for the control matchup? The one problem, like this Karn was the key card for this matchup, but then I felt like I was losing to a lot of other matchups that Karn You know, resolving a Karn was really good versus this. Well then, block my Llanowar Elf and take 7. So now you have your Settle the Wreckage. You're going to do this Settle the Wreckage to me? What a jerk. Where's their Teferi? Gideon, Emblem, Gideon, go. That's actually a pretty bad play. Yeah, Syncopate is an option. Ha! It's over. What does my opponent have? They have Seal Away. Seal Away and block. What do you mean this isn't a fight I can win? Teferi, you shut your whore mouth. I can win this. Look at this trash talking to me, Teferi. Yeah, I got a Seal Away and our Blink. Blink or a Seal Away. So, Vizier is brutal here, though. And we are going to put this on the Merfolk Branchwalker. Oh, look at that. Get riggedy, riggedy wrecked. This will go on the Llanowar. This will stay on top of that library. And this will also go on, I guess, the Llanowar. This will also go on the library. And this is when the deck is on full gears. So I'm glad we got to finish the match with this deck on full gears. I don't think there's a fog. There's not the 1 mana Holy Day in this format. So yeah, the best case scenario is a Seal Away, block, die. Don't even show us the Seal Away, block, die. Yeah, Teferi's a little bit oppressive. Actually, you know where Teferi is really starting to show a mark is Modern. And it's a lot of the Jace decks. It's funny how Jace was such a anticipated unbanning and did see a ton of play out the gates, and now has already been replaced by Teferi in a lot of those decks. Like all a bunch of the blue-white like Planeswalker Gideon.deck has like usually 1 Jace, 3 Teferis, and then Gideons. And same thing with like UWR Control switched over to Teferi over Jace, which is just absolutely bonkers. So that's how good Teferi is. That it's pushing out Jace the Mind Sculptor. So wow. So we did a very terrible 2 and out, and then a 7 wins. So I don't have to feel too bad about my little janky brew. I still have yet to see anyone else run any sort of deck that's even close to what I've been running. Haven't seen a lot of Vizier. I've seen Vizier Menagerie. I think it comes in a pre-constructed deck. But let's go ahead and claim these prizes. How close are we to this Vault? 85%. Yeah, Vault, again, I think Vault, they need to increase probably double the percentages that they're giving towards the Vault at the moment, because it takes a long time to crack this Vault. So, Memorial to Glory, sure. Okay, here we go with the rare. It's going to be a Hinterland Harbor, so we can actually play Hinterland Harbor. Commit to memory. And the mythic is a Jaya Ballard, a card I do want to try to brew around. There's a couple. I want to build a Rakdos Super Friends in Standard with Settle the Score. Settle the Score is a card that I think is underrated. I feel bad. I never did a top 10 list of cards I want to brew around for Dominaria. Just, I don't know. I've just kind of been out of the brewing mood. And I think Settle the Score is one of the more interesting cards. And I think Settle the Score especially is really, really cool with both Jaya and Chandra. And it's not bad with Angrath either, by pumping up their loyalty to be able to be in ult range. Because if you get Jaya's ult is phenomenal. In fact, in League right now, in our Dominaria League, which is actually going to run out here, we're going to do Battle Bond League next. But I have a Jaya Ballard in my league, and it's literally all instances and sorcery spells. I think I'm using a few creatures. I'm using Dan the Man. Danitha is in as a 2-of, as well as the Keldon Warlord, or Keldon whatever, the 4/3 that allows you to loot, just so I can dig for Jaya, and then just a bunch of Call the Calvaries And then it's just pure removal in Jaya Ballard. That's my biggest beef with Dominaria. I'm not the biggest fan anymore of limited Dominaria. I think they went too far on removal. Almost every color has a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop removal spell. And so it's really, really tough to play limited, in my opinion, not knowing where the removal is going to hit. You don't know where the sweet spots of actually playing cards are. Like, you don't want to go all in on, of course, 1 toughness because it dies to a lot of things like the fungal infections, but the 2 toughness are also a liability because a lot of times they can get taken care of by a 1-mana spell in a lot of different of the colors. So anyway, where did I get sidetracked on this? But yeah, this is a card. Jaya Ballard, I think, is a pretty cool card that just needs the right home at the moment. Thought about putting this in, I think for Standard Showdown, I am going to play a what's the card that no one, I think everyone gets so focused on the new set that they forget about cards that when they came out were very, very good for their for their time. And one of them was Dynavolt Tower. Dynavolt Tower, when that Kaladesh came out, it was competing with a lot of very high power cards from the Battle for Zendikar block as well as the Shadow for Innistrad block. And it won the Pro Tour, the Dynavolt Tower deck did. And I think that it's a card that's worth revisiting with cards like Opt and Jaya Ballard, and we even have like cards like Sheevan Fire, a lot of things that or even not Sheevan Fire, Blink Away or Blink of an Eye that I think work very well with Dynavolt Tower. So even Dynavolt Tower wasn't really used with the 3-mana counter spell unless to pay 3 or look at the top 3 either, was it? So I think that people, if Kaladesh was spoiled, like if we had Dominaria and all the other sets and all of a sudden Kaladesh came out right now, I think it'd be a focal point for a card like the Dynavolt Tower. So I want to revisit it with something like Jaya Ballard and Chandra. Kind of like no creatures. Maybe there was one creature I was thinking of playing in it now. Oh yeah, Whirling Virtuoso. Probably running Whirling Virtuoso and just even go blue-red Dynavolt Tower with Jaya Ballard and Chandra as the win conditions and see how it works. I know a Braid probably did take away some of the thunder of Dynavolt Tower because your win con became a liability, but it's not like people weren't playing a lot of artifact removal at that point. There was like main board appetite of the unnatural, and Dynavolt Towers didn't care about it. So anyway, where was I going with this? Well, that was Arena. I guess we can turn the stream over to exactly what everyone else wants to talk about. Want to talk about spoilers of the Battle Bond. I've got a few minutes here before I'm going to take off, answer some of your questions, and maybe we can build another Arena deck sometime. I think I don't know. Arena is also one of those programs that I don't think is really receptive to innovation. You want to get stuck on a deck that is doing well. So on MTGO, you win a league, sure you win a league. I mean, there is a sense of grinding and getting those qualifier points and whatnot. But it doesn't affect your ability to actually get more cards. Whereas on Arena, it really does. And so it kind of incentivizes perfecting one particular deck and building one particular deck. So that's kind of my bitch about Arena, is it's going to stifle innovation. If you saw the last video, one of the videos I did on how to make Arena more welcoming to Johnny types, these dailies need to not be play 5 lands bullshit or attack with 10 creatures. It's the stupidest stuff ever. Any deck can achieve it. They should really have some achievements that are tied to particular, like, specific cards. And I hope they actually go that direction. I'm not going to judge Arena before it is actually out of its beta stage to see what it can do. But I'm impressed with what it can do so far. All right, any Q&As before we go? We are going to do a 30,000 subscriber Q&A special whenever Fatal Area wants to actually set it up and quit being lazy and create me an about page and actually update the Rogue Master Brewer that I was going to showcase today, because there was supposed to be an article that we're extending it today and no one did it. Breathe, Kevin. Just kidding, Casey. We love you. But yeah, where was I going with this thought? We will be doing a 30K. I'll get with Fatal Aria and we'll schedule it and add people to our Discord. They can actually ask live questions or text questions or whatever. And yeah. What does everyone want to talk about? Get me started about pit bulls. That will set me off. Drink my Clorox. Hey, Clorox is in the background. Oh wow, I'm out of focus here. I messed with my webcam and now I think it's too focused on my ugly face. So Yeah, I need to refocus out of the webcam. Because when I'm kind of moved into the microphone, you can't even see me. Hey, look at that. That's worse. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I don't know if you put it on, if like cut it up and put it on a sandwich. I guess so. I don't know. What are you more excited for? Commander 2018, Battlebond Core Set 2019. I am really excited for Battlebond. The Timmy and Me has really came out in the last couple of years. I've been playing a lot more Commander, a lot more of these conspiracy type formats. I actually enjoy it. I think that's why I'm enjoying Arena a lot more than I probably, if you would have given Arena to Kevin 2 years ago, I probably would have crapped all over it. You would have got a bad review from me. And then in fact, if you go back to some of my tweets when they announced Arena, I was pretty pissed about it. Just because I didn't think they should try to go different directions with MTGO and Arena. They should focus on one. But Interstar, do you really get two-headed giant drafting? We will. Do two-headed giant for Battlebond. Is it this weekend? Did they really schedule it over Memorial? Wow. Zach Attack. Zachary. I don't know. Is Battlebond this weekend?
It's next weekend.
Next weekend. Okay, I'm corrected. I stand corrected. Next weekend. June 2nd.
Is the preview event.
Preview event is June 2nd.
And then next week's.
And then next week is launch week. Kind of some things about Battlebond. There is some rumors that it is low supply. We only get the first wave of it's really low. We only get like 6 cases. It's pretty limit. No, even less than that. How many cases do we get of Battlebond?
We get 9 boxes.
We get 9 boxes for our preview event.
Yeah, that's it.
And they haven't even had an allotment for the release.
No, we 18 boxes.
18 boxes is the first one. So again, we're advanced status store, which is kind of the mid tier. So that is quite low. So that is concerning, but I highly doubt it. Look at what happened with Unstable. Wizards is still releasing Unstable. It's the weirdest thing ever. We went through this really dry period of Unstable, couldn't find it anywhere, and it's like we can get a box here and there. And maybe they're going to do this again, kind of cut the distributors out of the loop here if Battlebond is a really high-selling set, so that Wizards... I've always thought that this is the direction Wizards should go, is really try to sell directly to, not consumer, but directly to game stores. In my opinion, there's not a point, there's no reason for distributors, except for the fact that Wizards of the Coast is incapable of doing their own damn job. They're a terrible distributor themselves, but that's something that can be easily corrected with just some people that are apt at doing their job, because customer service is terrible. Coming as a local game store owner, dealing with Wizards of the Coast is by far the worst. I'd rather deal with Alliance games all day long than Wizards of the Coast, and Alliance is notorious for just terrible customer service. So we're setting the bar pretty low when I talk about how bad Wizards of the Coast is with customer service. But anyway, I don't think that there's really a need for distribution. If they can just go, they can make a higher profit margin and therefore make better product if they go directly to like local game stores, or if they have that deal with Walmart and whatnot. So anyway, I wonder if they're going to do that with Battlebond, because 18 boxes, that is insanely low. Conspiracy was we could buy that till our heart's content. But again, that's launch day. Launch day, a lot of times you get these weird allotments. That, of course, is not what we can get from the distributors. I'm sure distributors might have some, but then they might not, because we're kind of lower tier with distributors, because there's people that have a lot more capital to throw at these things, and we're kind of paycheck to paycheck type of local game store here. Not a lot of capital to work with. So hopefully I can get everybody some cheap booster boxes for Battlebond if it continues to be a really sold set. Speaking of which, if you ever need product again, joining my Patreon is the best way to do that. Of course, it's like joining a club. I think the $10 Patreon tier gives you a percentage off product, and then if you're up to $20 or above Patreon, you get a certain amount of products at distributor cost per month. So at the $20 tier, you get 5 products per month, and at the $25 tier, you get 10 products per month. And if you're higher than that, you get like unlimited. So if you spend a lot of money on Magic the Gathering and live in the United States and don't have a local game store to support, with just this little $20 club membership, you can save a ton of money. I've had people order cases upon cases. I've got one patron that is a very loyal patron that is on the $100 tier. Definitely gets his money worth. He definitely made his money back from just the 7-8 cases of unstable. He's able to secure from us at distributor pricing, and then those started selling for crazy on eBay. So hate to shell out stuff, but this is the day and age of how our business is going to move forward, is going to be shelling stuff out. Also, if you do like this deck, a lot of you said you're interested in the deck. This deck is standard playable. There are a few upgrades that I would suggest from standard. I don't know. I'd have to look at it to actually see if there's anything from Kaladesh or Aether Revolt that I would put in this particular deck. But this is purchasable at our online store at roguedeckbuilder.com/store. We're also going to start rolling out more of the tier Pauper decks, as I think next week I'm going to stream a lot of playing Pauper to try to solidify which deck that I'm going to be playing at Grand Prix Vegas for the Pauper Championship. So if you're in Vegas, definitely come say hi. I will miss the very first few days because I'll be at Lake Powell, but then I'll hit the very end of GP Vegas, so I'll probably be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so if you're there, definitely come and say hello. Maybe we can do a meetup, and maybe we can go get some dinner, go get some drinks. But I need a babysitter if we get a drinks, because I'm notorious for not being able to hold my composure with adult liquids in my throat. So we'll have to get me a babysitter for that. All right. So questions. We'll go back to your questions. Fourth run for Unstable. It's not really runs, though. I think that the thing is that Wizards are just slowly releasing their third wave of Unstable. In fact, it could even be their second wave that they're just slowly. They saw the popularity of the first wave, and they kind of we'll just slowly feed these into the market, which I think is smart. All right. Did I miss any questions here? Did I see Piers Whim? Piers Whim. Let's load up some mythicspoiler.com. Alrighty. Let's see here. Display capture 4. There we go. Look at me learning how to use OBS. So newest spoilers. So I haven't seen the first of these spoilers or these lists. Mycosynth Lattice. That's a big one. How much is that one going for? That's a nice little... The Mythics are looking pretty good. They're on par with the Master sets, aren't they? Thrilling Encore. Put on the battlefield under your control all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Well then, board wipe on one partner's side and then Thrilling Encore on the other side. Okay. Mind's Eye's a pretty decent commander. I've never been that impressed with it. And, it's a lot of mana to sink into, like a Ristic Study type card. It's not bad though. Mangara of Corondor. Exile it and exile target permanent. Wasn't this already reprinted in a commander set? I don't think this holds value. Could be wrong here. Saddleback Alakic. Lizard, huh? Clearly looks like a dinosaur. Azure Oddsmaker. I did see this one at the beginning of combat in your turn. You discard a card if you do. Choose a creature. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, you draw 2 cards. Kind of cool. Combo attack and tandem attack. So what am I looking for? Piers Whims? Piers Anthony? What color is it? I thought I saw it earlier. Piers Whim. Spell Snare. Is there a way to search Mythic Spoiler? There is, right? Search. Piers Whim. Womp womp womp. Am I spelling it wrong? Piers Whim. Hey, we'll search Whim. Define Whim. How come it's going to a search on Google? Green. It was one of the first spoiled. Okay, we'll go to Battle Bond, and green. Piers Whim. All right, there we go. For each player, choose friend or foe. Each friend searches their library for land, puts on the battlefield, tap, then shuffles the library. Each foe sacrifices an artifact or enchantment. Not a terrible card for Commander, for sure, as you can make an alliance, but screw everyone. What you want to do is just name yourself as a friend. You go get a land card. It's another land card, so Wizards is really becoming degenerate here with land. So, yeah, this will definitely go in my, most of my green-black decks for sure, because it's another way to get Urborg, Trumi, Yawgmoth / Cobble Coffers. And then your opponent sacrificing artifacts or enchantments is always good, too, because there usually will be artifacts, not so much. Usually they'll have an artifact that they can par with. I mean, artifacts at that point, they just get rid of a mana rock, but that does set them back. Kind of a ramp on your end. But it probably could get some good cards. But yeah, a lot of these cards are quite fun. Like there are some mythics here that are new that I think we're going to hold some value. I really like the Academy Rector, the Planeswalker Rector, the Arena Rector. I think this card is very, very... this is insane. Again, one of these days, we're going to do a live stream for a Market Monday type video. I do want to build decks around Will Kenrith, Rowan Kenrith, and the other partner commanders that are available to try to get ahead of what people are going to start buying for... so yeah, this Eye of Chaos might actually spike the value of the flip coins. For example, any of those, the flip coin deck might come back. What does this pair with? We don't have the other pair. Partner with the Eye of Wisdom. I don't think we have the other. Do we have the other portion of this one? We should have all the promos spoiled now, shouldn't we? Like, shops have the promos. We literally have them. I'm surprised someone hasn't opened them all and taken screenshots. Zach taped them all down so people couldn't search them. So what we've done is we've already separated all the promos into boxes, and so people won't accuse us of searching through them and keeping the good ones for people. So he actually taped it just because we have some people around this area that accuse Zach of shady behavior all the time. So it's always nice to have the proof that, because if you haven't noticed, they are searchable. So anyway. Anyway, I think I am going to hit the road here and go home and get some sleep. But I hope you enjoyed this stream. We'll try to stream. If there's anything you'd like me to stream, definitely let me know in the comment sections after this video's down. If you want me to start streaming back at MTGO, we can do that. I'll probably start streaming more on Twitch from now on. I think Twitch is probably the route to go for streams, and then keep YouTube. I don't know, maybe we'll do it. I just don't want to get too oversaturated, but I'm thinking that a lot of times I just play Magic. I might as well stream it. I don't think there's any point to me not streaming while I'm playing. Sometimes I like to have the focus, but yeah, we'll probably do that more on when I'm not in the mood to really engage. I'll probably do that more on Twitch, revive the whole Twitch stream and kind of branch out that way. But wait, Casey is almost done with the update. We can do a whole video for it, but yeah, hurry up and update it. We are going to extend the Rogue Master Brewer. This is mainly on me. It was my fault that we've had such poor submissions to the Rogue Master Brewer. Rogue Master Brewer is a competition we used to do years ago for the community to build a deck around a particular theme. And sometimes I'd choose a card, or this time we just chose Dominaria. So you're supposed to take a card from Dominaria and build a deck around it, and it's supposed to showcase the deck. So I'm going to try to pull that up and see where we're at, if it is published or updated. And again, Fatal, let me know if you have some time sometime this weekend or tomorrow, and we can do a full video on at least showcasing the Rogue Master Brewer. But let's showcase what we have at the moment. I don't think we care too much about the updated. All right, let me flip this over here. And so the Rogue Master Brewer of the 2018 Dominaria, it's back, has returned. These deadlines are actually going to be adjusted. Of course, we're past May 23rd. We're going to adjust these. Again, this is on me. It's my bad. So if you want to yell at anyone, yell at me. So basically, you want to take a Rogue Brew. A Rogue Brew is not a net deck. It is not putting 4 Benelish Marshals and putting it in Mardu vehicles. Tasty. That is not a brew by throwing 4 cards in an existing tier deck. You really want to showcase the card and build a deck around it. Of course, I like more cards that are more splashy. I'm not quite a Saffron, Olive, or a Tyler where I really want to use jank cards. My goal is usually to be competitive as well as creative. But I also don't like cards that are just duh, like Benelish Marshal, or just value-based cards. Like if someone thinks that putting a particular card like Jadelight Ranger comes out, I'm like, hey, I'm going to build a deck around Jadelight Rangers this showcase. Yeah, that deck's just a good stuff card. It doesn't really have a lot of synergies to go around it, so I don't think that's a good one to showcase. So anyway, you want to pick a card, make a theme around it, and we have some ways to judging it by creativity and originality, synergy and flow, competitiveness, fun factor, and we'll judge them, and we do have some store credit to give out to the finalist as well as the winner. And again, as this grows on, we're going to try to do this for every set, and we'll up kind of the prize support. I think Cardsphere is going to donate to the next competition for Rogue Master Brewer, and we'll do some collaboration with Cards Fair, and we'll get some other sponsors coming up in the future. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, again, I am going to run now. Let me get to any last parting questions for the stream. If there isn't any, I guess we'll just call it a night. Thanks for everyone for joining, and we will see you all next time. I'll try to do the streams more often. If you do like more of the rambling, ranting streams, we can also do that. I kind of miss being angry. I'm an angry old man, and I have plenty of things to rant about, like pit bulls. Damn pit bulls. Scourge of the devil. Scourge of the earth, or spawns of the devil. That's what I was trying to say. You have the extended one. All right, we'll look at it. Better not be loading anything. There it is, the Rogue Master Brewer extension. June 6th. All right, I can deal with June 6th. You're going to have to vote on this, though. I'll be gone June 13th, Casey. So you're going to have to figure this out. So anyway, oh, by the way, I'll have to talk to you. Hop on Discord. I need to talk to you about something here with something I figured out. Anyway, appreciate everyone. See you later.